Atma and mind, I think perhaps we'll say, I'll amend the topic a little bit with your permission. The role of the mind in gaining self-knowledge, meaning in knowing the Atma. What does the mind have to do? This is what we'll talk about. Atma is the most overused word. Atma, what is Atma? Simply speaking, the main definition I would say is I. Atma means aham, I. The word Atma is variously derived. Very interesting. Atma, atti iti Atma. From ad, second conjugation Sanskrit root, which means bhakshane. What is bhakshane? To eat. Ad, to eat. Atti means that which eats is Atma. What is this? I thought Atma is akarta, abhokta. Now you are saying that which eats is Atma. Atti means what? Eats. What does it eat? Karma phalani atti. So this I that tastes the various berries hopping from one tree to another. Which tree? Tree of samsara, of course. Tree of samsara has fruits in the form of what? Sukha and dukkha, mostly dukkha, okay? And this is what is talked about in the Viveka Chudamani also. It was a beautiful verse. Bijam samsriti bhumi jasya tu tamaha. Samsriti is a polite way of saying samsara. It's just made into a feminine noun. Samsritihi. Bijam. The seed of samsara is what? Tamas, self-ignorance. Dehatma dhiran kuraha. The seed has to sprout. And what is the sprout? The sprout is, I am as good as the body, is the starting sprout of samsara. I am as good as the body, I am as good as the mind, I am as good as the senses. This is the starting trouble. And then what? Ragav pallavam ambu karmatu vapuhu. What are the leaves? Ragadvesha. My own ragadvesha, my own fears, things that I want to avoid, dvesha, things that I love to have and want to have at any cost, raga. These are the leaves of the tree of samsara. And this is the kind of tree that does not shed in the autumn. Always the leaves are there, hanging out. Ambu karma. How does the tree get nourished? Through my own karma. Ambu means water here. I water the tree of samsara with my own karma. Vapuhu skandaha. Skandaha means the main trunk of the tree is like this body. This is what it is. Asavaha shakhika. In addition to the main tree trunk, there are 4 or 5 branches. Those are the 5 pranas. And then Agranindriya samhatischa vishayaha. Indriya samhati, agrani. Agrani means the twigs, smaller branches. And what are the vishayas? Pushpani vishayaha. The sense objects are the flowers. And of course every tree has, in addition to flowers, what does it have? Fruits. Dukkham phalam. Fruits are sorrowful fruits. Nana karma, samudbhavam. bahuvidham. This is made up of many, many karmas. This samsara tree is upheld. Bhoktatra jiva khagaha. Who is the bhokta? The consumer, the one who is addicted to the tree. Is territorial about this tree, doesn't want to leave. Khaga, khe gacchati iti khagaha. What is khaga? Bird. Come, space, khe, in space, gacchati, khagaha. This jiva is the samsaraholic, addicted to the samsara tree, addicted to the fruits of karma. But why should there be addiction when the fruits are bitter? In fact, all addiction starts with bitter things only, you know? Yeah. Because what is the hope? Next one will be sweet. And if that's also bitter, next one will be sweet. Next one will be sweet. So the first definition of Atma, Atti iti Atma. The one who is this I who eats the fruits of samsara, constantly eats the fruits of karma, is in samsara, is totally addicted to the samsara fruits, hops around eating. And then there is one more definition. Apnoti sarvam iti atma. In fact, this is what we did the whole week. Yeah. What is the next definition? Apnoti. That which has gained everything it wants, which is a very fulfilled thing, that is also called Atma. So which Atma are we talking about? Will the real Atma please stand up? Is it the one that is is it the one that is bugged by the karma phala? Is it the one that is so upset all the time? Is it the one that is afflicted? Or is it the one that is the blessing Atma? This is something that has been discussed in the Upanishad, in 2 Upanishads. Both of them I am going to discuss here. And in fact, one of this particular discussion was the topic of the talks last time when I came. In the Kathopanishad, there is these 2 people. Ritam pibantau Sukrutasya loke guham pravishtav parame parardhe chayatapau brahmavido vadanti. 2 fellows have gone into a cavern rather. Guham pravishtav, all dual. Pibantau, 2. Pravishtav, same 2 fellows. Pibantau, they are drinking. What are they drinking? Karma cocktail. That's what. Chitragupta is the bartender. Yeah. He's mixing papa, punya, a lot of papa, little bit of punya, shaking it up and making it into a drink and giving it. When the fellow sips, little bit of sweet comes in between the bitter tastes. He takes another sip, cannot leave it, cannot drink it. This is the situation. But who are these two fellows? No, not 2, there is only 1. Not Pibanta, only 1. And how come the other one is implicated? That is what happens in bad company. Yeah. If there is 9 fellows doing drugs and there is a police raid and one person, the 10th one was not doing, do you think the police is going to believe him? No. He is also rounded up, taken there, booked, fingerprinted, then only they will do the test. They will do the blood test and then not finding anything, they will release him. Not going to believe him at first. He is implicated because of keeping bad company. Is it not true? Yes. And here, the non-drinking Atma, I, who is what? Whose reality is Ishvara. Poor Ishvara gets implicated and gets caught as the drinker of the bitter fruits of samsara. Bitter cocktail of samsara. Unnecessarily gets implicated, poor thing. And this is what is the problem, because really speaking, Ishvara is not implicated, never implicated. This is the split. Inside every person there is a split. And what is that split? Between the I that I want to be and the I that I am helplessly, apparently forced to be. The I that I want to be is contented, satisfied, loving, compassionate, whole, free of complexes, happy, and not needing to bother anyone. That is the I that I want to be. And sometimes I am successful in being that. On certain days, it's very easy to be that I. The rest of the time, there is a cascade into what? Into the I that I do not want to be and cannot stand when I am associated even a little bit with that I. What is that I? Cantankerous, cranky, upset, feeling unloved, feeling neglected, feeling angry, feeling jealous, feeling afraid, and feeling completely assailed by all kinds of things. Everybody is out to get me. Which is more common? First one or second one? Nobody wants to answer. Everybody is afraid. There is no wrong answer. Generally, what do we find in the world? I am not asking about you. Generally, which is the I that seems to come out in the world?
Second one.
Yeah, the second one is what is rampant. That is the one that easily comes out, easily smarted, easily slighted, easily upset. In fact, the whole world has to do everything to keep this fellow in good humor, except that everybody wants to be kept in good humor. From morning to night complaining. Oh, I have to wake up. You had a full night's sleep. Yeah, but I had some nightmares. It's okay. It's time to get up again. Tonight you'll sleep. No, I have to wake up now. One day I have to get up. And then after Vedanta weekend, it's very difficult to get up because you have to go back to regular work. Okay, don't take Vedanta classes. Don't come for satsang. Well, if I don't come for satsang, how will I get this knowledge? I have to go. Nobody is forcing you to go. No, but I have to go. Okay, go and enjoy. How can I enjoy when after that I have to come to the real world? This is the state of affairs. Anything you ask, everything they will have the same thing. Oh, you don't know what it is so difficult to be married, so difficult to have children, and they all want everything. And usually women tell me this, my husband is my fourth child, third child, second child. You know? How many ever children they have, they will add the husband as the next child. In fact, I don't have 2 children, I have 3 children. Because I have to take care of this whole thing. Okay, then leave. How can I leave? Okay, then stay. Be happy. How can I be happy? This is what is the problem. Can't leave. Can't manage. This is the one that generally comes out to play. This is the fellow. Correct? And in fact, the Kathopanishad says, one is Chaya. What is Chaya? Shadow. One is the real thing. Chaya, Atapa. Atapa means one is the real sun, real, I, the truth of the I. The other one is just a shadow cast by that very bright light of the first. What is that definition? The second definition, Apnoti Sarvam, that which envelops everything, overpowers everything. There is no space for anything else, that which is fulfilled, that which is satisfied, that which is not a seeker. That is the truth of me. That is the truth of me. And this is what the same thing is expressed through a little story in the Mundaka Upanishad. Dva Suparna Sayuja Sakhaya. Actually, again it should be Sayujau Sakhaya, but it's a Vedic poetic license, Vedic artistic license. You don't go and correct the Sanskrit of the Vedas. We say Chandasam, poetic license, and leave it alone. And so here, what does it say? Dva Suparna. Vau Suparnau Sayujau Sakhayau. That is how it should read. Two birds, Suparna, of glorious golden wings. Sayujau, they are joined together, they are always embracing one another. Sakhayau, they are the greatest of friends. Samane vrikshe parishashva jate, they are embracing, hugging each other on the same tree branch. That's where the similarity ends. They are the greatest of friends, no doubt. Tayoho ekaha, out of these two, one of them, Pippalam Swadu Atti, same Atti, Atti iti Atma. Swadu Atti is always a berry holic, is in search for tasty, tasty berries, keeps on wanting berries, you know. And the more it eats the berries, the more tasteless they are. Some of them are bland, some of them are bitter. Once in a while you get a little bit of sweet taste, and again back to sour, bitter, astringent. It makes that face. But it is very addicted to these berries. It's not able to let them go. Tayoho ekaha pippalam swadu atti. And then what about the other one? The other one also atti? No. Na atti. Anashnan, without eating. Abhichakashi iti. Abhichakashati means just from kash, to throw the light. Abhichakashi means throws the light on the activities of this restless berryholic, which gets into a very sad state of affairs because it cannot do otherwise. It's an addict. It's an addict of karma phala. This is what is the first definition of Atma I gave. The one who is an experienced hunter, seeking here, seeking there, seeking everywhere, seeking infinitely. That's not what we need to do. We have to seek the infinite instead of being an infinite seeker. Yes. If you are the seeker of the infinite, you are safe. If you are an infinite seeker, Namaha, that's all I have to say. Yeah, infinite seeker means your quest will be forever. That is not a fun thing. That's not a nice thing at all, to be an infinite seeker. To be the seeker of the infinite. But the first one is is not the seeker of the infinite. This restless bird is infinitely seeking something or the other. Discontented, uncontented, upset, fearful, really crazy. And it says, this is such a hard life. Okay, leave this life. No, but what about the berries? And it complains, life is very, very hard. Very, very hard. We don't know what to do. We don't know where to go. We don't know how to do this. Very difficult. How am I going to do this? This is also called Atma. And the other one is the witness, Sakshi. What is this Sakshi? Witness of these antics. That is also called Atma. The first one is a shadow. The second one does not get affected by anybody, anything, anytime, anywhere. Because Apnoti Sarvam, it is gained, everything belongs to it. It is the whole universe. It is this Atma I have to understand as the truth of myself. Why not the first Atma? You already know that. What has happened? After knowing the complaining person, what has happened? Nothing. Nothing has happened. Nothing has changed. Business as usual. And in fact, nobody wants to know the complaining person. If the complainer is within you, regardless of whether the complainer is within you or it's somebody you know. As soon as you see the complaining person coming from far away, you duck behind a pillar or a bush so that I don't have to deal with that person. Nobody likes. And if you inside the complaints start to arise, you quickly do something to try to forget it. You overpower it with some activity. You start to read a book, see a movie, watch television, do something so that one cannot, need not be in contact with this complaining person. Complaining person is not an object of self-love, not at all. And so we go. So the jiva goes, an infinitely split personality with the shadow, Atti, Atma, parading as the real one. This is the problem. Will the real Atma please stand up? The berryholic stands up. Yeah. Will the real Atma please see how to react to this? The other one stands up and says, oh, they have taken advantage of you. Give them good. Don't let them, do this. They are competing, you compete back. They have taken two things away from you. Take everything they own. This is how to deal with the world. This is the world. The world is a dog-eat-dog place. And you have to be competitive. You have to be cutting edge. You have to do whatever it takes to get ahead. Okay, that too is a philosophy. Did you get ahead? You did everything it takes. No. What happened? The neighbor got ahead. Why? I don't know. Very upsetting. All I know is this is very upsetting that I couldn't get ahead. This is the person. This is the way in which the shadow takes over the person. This is what it is. That is our problem. That is what is called samsara, where the shadow masquerades as the real thing. But the shadow is not the real thing. If your friend comes to visit the house, do you make an extra cup of tea for the shadow of the friend? No. You disregard the shadow. If you walk by the lake and the shadow falls into the water, your shadow falls into the water, do you ask for a towel afterwards? Because the shadow is wet and it needs to be dried up. This is actually an ancient Vedic example. That if the shadow falls on the river, you do not need a towel to dry it off. Why? It is not real. It is cast by that light of all lights. It is an appendage. It comes along. That's all it is. It need not create trouble. I have neither raga towards the shadow, nor dvesha towards the shadow. Nobody says I can't stand the shadow. I want shadow surgery. Cut out the shadow. Nobody says that. Nobody can do that either. It need not be done. You cannot remove that which does not exist. You cannot. The shadow really does not exist. The problem is when it takes on great proportions, greater than it itself, and when it takes on a reality that it does not possess, that is when the problem comes. And here is where we have the mind. Yeah. Mind can be the greatest help. 6th chapter says, Atmaiva Atmano Bandhuhu, in this delineation of the shadow and the non-shadow, and in our search for that real I, which is compassionate, caring, giving, free of insecurity, totally filled with itself, happy, contented, whole. This is what I want to be. This is what the Vedas and the Upanishads say I already am. It is a gain of that which is already gained. And the mind can be my greatest friend in this quest, in this journey from the Atti to the Apnoti. The mind can be a greatest friend. Atmaiva Atmano Bandhu. Atma here means mind. It can help me, provided I have trained it. It can help me. Or, what else does that verse say? Atmaiva Ripuhu Atmana. Or the mind is my greatest enemy, depending on how I use the mind. This is what it is. Sometimes the mind is made into a whipping boy by a lot of the, spiritual seekers. Mind has to be removed. How are you going to remove? You want to go to a surgeon? Please remove the mind. First they have to locate it. Where is the mind? Mind, we don't mean brain. How are you going to remove the mind? No, you have to meditate. Okay, what? Don't think about anything. How can you not think about anything? Unless you're in a permanently vegetative state, then you cannot think about anything, no problem. The job of the mind is to think naturally. And it goes from thought to thought, it hops from thought to thought. That's how you are able to see movement, motion. Like the whole hand going like this from one side to another, you are able to see it effortlessly. Because the mind works in frames called vritti, vrittaya. You know how many vrittis it takes to see just the simple motion of this hand? So many vrittis. If the mind got stuck on every little thought, then you would see it like a badly written comic strip. You would see my hand like this. But no, you see a smooth motion because the mind is kshanika. You cannot blame the mind for not focusing because that's not its job. It's used to seeing, it's used to perceiving and taking in all the reports from the 5 journalists. Who are the 5 journalists? Sense organs, they are the reporters. They are journalists. The nose says, some nice food is there. Where is it? First of all, what cuisine? Where is it coming from? And then the mind says to the legs, go follow the scent. Find out. Mind gives orders. Mind uses the indriyas. And then the eyes say, oh, this is such a beautiful flower. Mind says, grab it. It should be yours. This is what the mind is takes in the reports and then like an overseer writes the portfolio for the karmendriyas. So the jnanendriyas, the sense organs are the photojournalists. They send photographs, they send reports, they send impressions. And the karmendriyas, the vehicles of action, they carry out the orders of the mind because otherwise it will not let them be in peace. So you see how the mind is a very important here, an appendage, because on the one hand it's taking in all the impressions. That's why it cannot be stuck on any one impression because it has to be active and see things going from one thing to another. It has to be active. And then what? Then it charges the karmendriyas, the organs of actions, hands and legs particularly. Go after it. Because according to the mind has a very simplistic view of the world. What does the mind say? There are only 2 things. What are the 2 things? Mine and not yet mine. The world is divided into 2. Mine and then not yet mine. Meaning it will soon be mine. That is all the mind says. And so what is the focus? Everything that is not yet mine has to be made into mine. That's all. And this is how the average jiva goes along. Sometimes succeeding, mostly failing. Because the mind never gets its way all the time. And does it say never mind and keep quiet? No, it will keep trying. The question is, who is powering the mind? What is that force that is powering the mind? This was a question in the beginning of one of the very famous Upanishads called Kenopanishad. Kene shitam preshitam patati manaha. How does the mind fall into various thoughts desired by whom, ordained by whom? Answer of course is Ishvara, Bhagavan. But really speaking, if Bhagavan was in charge of the mind, would the mind cut up the world into mine and not yet mine? And would the mind keep going after every object of desire? No. So it's very clear that although Bhagavan is powering the mind in the form of the Atma, in the form of that which gives everything light, there is someone else in charge here. Who is that? This ahankara, this raga dvesha, etc. And they are telling this mind, go here, go there, fulfill me. Each raga dvesha is saying. So in other words, the mind is colonized by these forces. What are these forces? My own desires, my own objects of hatred. My own love and hatred becomes the force that can turn the mind away from this quest of the infinite. This is what the problem is. This is what happens. And so the mind becomes my greatest enemy when it is being colonized and under the control of the army of ragadveshas. It is like Pakistan, the army rules. President, Prime Minister is just a figurehead. In fact, when that swearing in happened of our new Prime Minister in India, he invited as a goodwill gesture all the neighboring countries' heads. And even the Pakistan head got an invitation. He could not reply until 3 hours before the event. Because he doesn't make his decisions. He had to get clearance from the army. So kind of like what is happening in the mind. If the mind is under the spell of the army of raga dveshas, then they will not let this mind do anything. Oh, I think I should go to Vedanta Satsang. Nah, what is there? Let me go to the mall. Okay. I think I should read Gita. No. What is there in Gita? I'll tell you in 2 sentences. Fight, get up, fight. That's all is there. Usme kya hai? Nothing is there. That's all is there. He took 18 chapters to say that I'll say it in 1 word. Wrong message, but that's what his fellow thinks. Everybody says, I know Gita. I don't have to study it. Big mistake. And if you ask them what you know, one more question if you ask them, you will know that they don't know at all. It's not a karma shastra, it's not somebody telling somebody to fight. It is moksha shastra. It is knowledge of which atma to allow, breathing space within the expression of this body, mind, sense complex. What to express, how to express. Not the atti, not the one that's a karma phala-holic, but the other one, the one who is apnoti sarvam, adatte, the one that gives sustenance to everything, the one that is already gained everything, the one that is everything. That is the I that I have to discover, that I have to understand. And in this the mind can be either the greatest friend or the greatest foe. And if it is a foe, we have already seen what it does. It reduces the person to tears by enslaving, by being enslaved by the ragadveshas. It makes a slave. The mind becomes a slave to all the desires and then makes the person exhausted, tired, upset, bored, fearful. Because, ragadveshas are like that. Ragadveshas make a person less flexible, more fearful, more insecure, and totally and completely at the behest of all kinds of wants. And anybody who's tried to fulfill a desire knows how difficult it is, correct? Even one desire, if you have tried to fulfill, do you think it comes easily? No. You have to try. Best friend gets the promotion. Then you try. Nothing happens. And maybe after several tries you succeed. Are you happy when you succeed? Yes, for 5 minutes. After that, new want comes and takes over. One is forever colonized by the wants and the mind becomes a slave. This is what is meant by Atmano Ripuhu. This is when the mind becomes a foe to my quest of understanding the truth of the Atma as the truth of myself. Atma means I. But the Upanishad herself gives a beautiful way to see how to engage the mind, to be friendly to me, to be friendly in my quest, to help my quest. How? This was Arjuna's question. In the 6th chapter he complains, Chanchalam hi manah Krishna pramathi balavad dridam. Sudushkaram, it is very difficult to hold this mind. Nigraha. Nigraham asya manye. I consider holding this mind more difficult than grabbing some air. If you tell me, go outside and bring a fistful of air, I can oblige. But Arjuna, says, Krishna, what are you telling me? You are telling me hold the mind. How can I hold the mind? It is going everywhere. Krishna agrees. He says, yes. Asamshayam Mahabahu. Oh, you mighty armed one, you can kill all these armies, but you cannot hold the mind. One simple little mind is troubling you. Arjuna, Krishna has many names for Arjuna. When he calls Mahabaho, hey Mahabahu means one mighty armed one, Mahabahu. It means you are being chicken over this small thing. And here you have this epithet of vanquishing so many armies. And sometimes he says, Kaunteya, Mamma's boy, don't behave like a Mamma's boy. And very beautifully all these terms are used so wonderfully. And here he says, Asamshayam Mahabaho, Mano Durnigraham Chalam. Yes, I agree with you. Mind is hard to manage and mind is very chalam. But he gives him a recipe for having a say over the mind. This is not mind control. We are not talking eugenics here. This is not mind control. This is managing the raga dveshas so that the mind does not come under the spell of the raga dveshas. This is rescue operation.
The younger generation, they don't know what raga dvesha is.
Yeah, I explained. I said desires, preferences, things that I want. I explained at the beginning. I explained things that I want and I feel I cannot be without, things that I hate, dvesha. I had explained. So, this is what it is. The whole thing is revolving around the extent to which I can have a say over the mind. So Bhagavan Krishna gives two timeless ways of allowing the mind to not be overpowered by one's own preferences. That's what it is. And what is that? He says, Abhyasa, number one. And the second one, Vairagya. Abhyasena tu kaunteya, Vairagyena cha grihyate is held. The mind is managed by Abhyasa and Vairagya. What is Abhyasa? Repetition. Repetition. Because the mind is in charge, in fact the preferences, ragadveshas are in charge. And the mind is keeping on becoming enslaved to these ragadveshas. And so what needs to be done? I have to bring them out of the clutches. I have to rescue the mind. This is operation mind rescue. I have to rescue the mind from the clutches of these hardened preferences. And so for that we have a twofold very easy formula. One is Abhyasa. Abhyasa means you tell the mind what to think. Don't let the mind go wherever it wants to. Like a wild goat which is untethered. Somebody sent me these photos of wild goats in Tanzania, somewhere near some desert in Africa. And there only one tree grows, argan tree or something like that. And this is the only tree they can feed off because it's a desert area. And these are bushes. So the goats have climbed into the tree. As a result, the villagers cannot even get the berries or whatever they want for their eating because the whole tree, the goats are on the tree, the goats are on the cliff, these wild goats, because they are not goats, they are, what is that? Rams. Yeah. And if you go near, they ram into you. That's why they are called ram. That is the meaning of ram. Not Rama, ram. Yeah. So these goats, these rams and goats have overrun the place. Nobody can go there. This is how the mind usually is, offensive and defensive all the time. It colonizes the whole place. And it has kept you, the eye, the Swami. Who is the Swami? The owner of the body, mind, sense complex. This ahankara, this I notion is come under the spell of those raga dveshas, and the mind becomes a servant. And here what? The mind is rescued by telling it, giving it the strength to do what you tell it to do, not what the raga dveshas tell it to do. That's how you begin, slowly. And this is what is called dhyanam, is abhyasa. In dhyanam, in meditation, one is given a mantra. It can be anything. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namah Shivaya, anything. This can be a mantra. And then the mind is told to repeat this mantra. The mind is told to think a thought. Which thought? This thought. Om Namah Shivaya is the thought. So what is the first thought? Om Namah Shivaya. What's the second thought? Om Namah Shivaya. Don't be afraid, talk. Om Namah Shivaya. What's the third thought?
Om Namah Shivaya.
What's the fourth thought?
Om Namah Shivaya.
What's the fifth thought?
Om Namah Shivaya.
Fifth thought is not Om Namah Shivaya. Fifth thought is, why am I doing this? Yeah, in fact, that may even be the second or the third thought. Is anything happening? I don't notice any change. Is this meditation? Did something happen? Is Shiva here already? Why is he not coming? This is the fifth thought. What should be the sixth thought? Om Namah Shivaya. You have to bring the mind back. The mind that is wandering like this wild ram, powered by desire and fear, has to be brought back again. You have to remain the Swami. It's okay, you went. You went to graze. All right, time to come back. Time to come back. Without judgment, without fear, you bring it back. And the sixth thought again, Om Namah Shivaya. Seventh thought, Om Namah Shivaya. Eighth thought, I'm giving up. I don't think I can do this anymore. Nothing has happened. I've been meditating for 15 years. What has happened? Nothing has happened. These are all voices not from you, not from your intention, not from the place of the seeker that is want to be united with yourself, with the truth of yourself. These are voices from the raga dveshas that really don't matter. So the mind has to be operation, mind rescue. The mind has to be rescued from those gamut of fears and desires which are holding it hostage. But then how to start? To start with 1 minute meditation. I like the acronym OM, O-M-M. Yeah. You start with 1 minute meditation. You keep one little stopwatch and you know you have to do it for 1 minute. You can do anything for 1 minute, trust me. Even the thing that you hate the most, it's easy to do for 1 minute. 1 minute is 60 seconds, it's nothing, it's gone. It's longer. It's shorter than how long it has taken me to say this much. It's much shorter than that. It's over. So you keep that and you say Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. The mind says, no, I have to get up right now. No, only 1 minute, it will go off now. Om Namah Shivaya. Why it hasn't yet gone off? Om Namah Shivaya. When it's going to go off? Om Namah Shivaya. Is it gone off already? Did I miss it? Did I set it correctly? Om Namah Shivaya. Has it gone? When? Ding, 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 ding. Oh, thank God. 1 minute meditation. Just do for 1 minute. The problem is, this jiva has got the raga dvesha with a vengeance, the desire to meditate. I want to become like, some rishi. I want to become like Agastya overnight. How is that possible? It's not possible. You have to start small. You have to have small goals. Small things that are possible. And then you become an accomplished. Then when you finish this 1 minute meditation, you feel good. Oh, I was able to meditate for a whole minute. You have a sense of accomplishment. You have a sense of happiness. You have a sense of great, achievement. Then what? Then don't say I'm going to sit for 48 minutes. No. After 1 minute, you do 1 minute in the morning, 1 minute at night, and even 1 minute you can sneak in at the office. But I don't have time at the office. What you, instead of updating Facebook, you can do this. You can do this. 1 minute you can easily sneak in. And just sit quietly, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Mind will go, otherwise it's not called meditation. You have to bring it back. You have to bring it back. And over time, the whole life becomes meditative. The whole life, it becomes an open eye meditation. The mind will say, I am here for you. What do you want me to do now? What do you want me to think? Where should I put my energy? Because it has been, all the raga dveshas, the military rule has been ousted, and the mind is free to be, there available for you. This is the mind that can become a friend in your quest. And then when you request the mind, I have this quest, yes, let us look in the paper, let us see where the classes are, let us see who is coming to town, let me see if I can go there, let me see how I can expose myself to this knowledge. This is what the mind will help, it will become a big help. This is what is called abhyasa. But there is one more, point. What is the other point? Vairagya. Viraga, meaning free of these raga dveshas. I grow into a person who is bigger than the problems that I face. I grow into a person who knows how to let go. You have to learn to let go. You have to learn to put a full stop after every thought. This is not big vairagya with regard to leaving house and home. Nobody is asking you to do that. We are asking you to just put a full stop after every thought so that the mind doesn't go like a freight train cascading into a world of depression. This is what usually happens with mechanical, everyday thinking. This is what happens. You give me any word, I can make you sad in 1 second. In 1 minute, I can make you sad. Give me any word. Think of a word. Give me a word. Come, play.
Dream.
Huh?
Dream.
Dream. Oh, these days, all the dreams, I don't dream at all. I'm having no dreams. Everybody says keep dream journal. Carl Jung says a dream is an unopened letter. But me, I'm working so hard. I have no dreams. I have no time to dream. Either during the day or during the night. What a life. See, already sad. Then if you another way, dream, oh, don't talk to me about dreams, full of nightmares. And I did the same exercise earlier in another place. And there one lady said happiness. I said, happiness, what is that? Where is that? So elusive, so troublesome. How come it only goes to others and not to me? Already sad. Anything you take, you can think yourself into sadness. And that's what the mind does out of habit. Not because it wants to. It doesn't know how. Because it's overpowered by raga and dvesha. That's what it does. That's what it does. So I have to learn to put a full stop. I'm getting angry. Okay, full stop. Just watch the anger. I'm getting hungry. Full stop. Then there is space. Are you really hungry? Or some feelings are coming up that you want to stuff down. This is sometimes why people eat also. What is the difference? Take the time to see. No, nobody loves me. Full stop. Ask yourself, is that really true? Is that really true? No, it's just a feeling. See, immediately the truth comes out. Is it really true? You just ask yourself. Instead of, building a whole story out of some subjective impressions. One couple came to me and said, we are on the brink of a divorce. I said, what? Why? What happened? We've been married for so long. No, it was all fine until we moved to California. I said, what happened in California? No, because, she said, he doesn't like me anymore. And he said, when did I say that? No, you didn't say that, but you show that. How do I show that? You make faces like this. Whenever I come into the room, you're making a face. You go like this. That's how I don't want to live with you. I want separation. Then I said, why do you make a face? He says, I don't make a face. No, you make a face. And And suddenly he did like this. And she said, see, he made a face just now. And it turned out that he was highly allergic to some pollen in California. Always he was feeling like sneezing. Always he was wanting to, avoid the sneeze. He didn't know when it was coming. He was dreading the sneeze.
It's a true story.
Yeah, this is what the mind does. Excellent people. Lot of love among them. Lot of love between them. Great people, but this is the problem. This is what is called subjective understanding, and this is the lack of vairagya that makes you see. Instead of seeing how much this person must be struggling, there is something wrong. You immediately personalize it. Oh, this is directed at me. This person went, this is my friend, did not wave at me. Oh, I'm not going to talk to them anymore. Big fight. And what happened? What happened? What happened? Then finally you talk. Well, you didn't wave to me that day. Well, I forgot my glasses at home. I didn't see you.
Actually happens, yeah.
This is a common thing. I forgot the glasses at home. I didn't see you. Unless you were a big elephant in the room, literally. I did not see you at all. This is the problem. This is how the mind falls into subjective thought patterns and gives you grief. This is how one sinks into the berryholic, wanting to just milk each situation, manipulate each situation to try to make oneself happy. And who will be happy? The sad fellow can never be happy. Because this ragadvesha, these preferences reduce you to sorrow. That is the only place they will take. So vairagya means seeing everything in an objective light. Learning to respond rather than react. What's the difference? Reaction is a gut level reaction. The ragadvesha sitting in the gut like bacteria, just, do whatever I feel like I do. This is what Duryodhana said. So Krishna asked him, don't you know dharma? Yes, janami dharma. Then what? I don't feel like following dharma. He said that. Or maybe you don't know the consequences of adharma. Well, I know the consequences. Then what? I don't care. The raga, dvesha sitting in my heart, they are going to drive me, and I'm going to just be an obedient servant to them. This is the problem. This is what he said to Krishna when Krishna said this. In fact, we are told that Duryodhana wrote a book on dharma. Did you know that? Yeah. But it is lost for posterity because we say that every book should begin with a prayer. Duryodhana's book did not have the prayer. And in those days they wrote on palm leaves. He was eaten by some wild goats, aforementioned wild goats. Ajabhakshitam. This is what happens. Good. It was not meant to see the light of day. This is what the problem is. When the mind takes over and the ragadveshas shadow the mind like Rahu eclipsing the sun. So too this sun-like consciousness is free of these likes and dislikes. I have to see that. It's free of the force of likes and dislikes. I have to see that. And I have to learn to respond rather than react. Reaction is immediate. Reaction is like sending off an email when you don't mean to. You know that. But in the moment you just say something. This is the problem with all this SMS, email. It's so instant. And that is the problem. You get into hot water more than you want. So here, Bhagavan Krishna, when he says, make the mind your friend, what is he saying? He is saying, learn to respond. The response is not like a reaction. It's a two-step process. First step, you look into your own internal psyche, see the reactivity, give it time, give yourself the benefit of doubt. Don't be angry with yourself for being angry. That is not going to help. Say, this is right now, I'm really angry and it's okay. Hug the anger. Accept it. And don't respond at that time. Give yourself the benefit of doubt. Say, I am angry because this situation reminds me of, because anger is never in the present. even though you like to say that this situation has made me angry. No. Anger always comes, wells up from that which is the unconscious, which is like a swamp bubble, a collection of pain and sorrow from age 0 to 5. All the anger comes from that. Comes from situations of fear, perceived neglect, perceived pain, sorrow, whatever the child couldn't process. It all comes out when one is finally safe enough to feel unsafe. Usually after marriage, because you know the person is going to stick around. Suddenly the person gets all anger, all fear is coming out. This has to be managed. The unconscious is there and it is coming out, so you give yourself the benefit of doubt. Okay, I don't know what made me angry. It may not be this person. It may be something from the past. Give yourself the benefit of doubt. Sit with it, allow it to dissipate. It will. Anything will pass. Nothing, the feelings are not temporary, permanent. Thoughts are not permanent. Allow it to pass. And then what? And then the second step is to give the benefit of doubt to the other person. Why did that person say this? What could they have meant? Of course, the obvious meaning is they want to disrespect me, but that may not be the meaning. What could they have said? What could they have meant? Did I hear this correctly? And what is their background? Maybe they were having a hard day. Maybe they were having some difficulty. Maybe they did not mean to say it and they have said it. Give them the benefit of doubt. And then your response is from a stronger, freer place. This is what is Vairagya. Is learning to respond when I want to react. This is Vairagya. Vairagya doesn't mean leaving home and going with Kamandalu in one hand and that tea, what is that mala stand in the other. No, that's not what this is about. Vairagya is practiced internally. Let go. Allow yourself to grow. Let go, let grow. Let yourself grow. Otherwise you just hold on everyone's grudges and you become miserable. Why? Why give all these things airtime? Let it go. New moment, new day, new thought, new way. Not the same old jaded place of inflexibility, fear, insecurity. One is barricaded by all these negative emotions. Let go. Give yourself another chance to interact from a place of freedom. And when you are able to do that, you get ready to finally use the mind in the only way that it is meant to be used, is to be the receptacle for this teaching that you have heard today. For this is what is called Atma Jnanam, self-knowledge. The mind has to be readied, and if it is running after every single thing that it wants and doesn't want, running away, running from this pravritti, nivritti, the mind is not going to be ready. You have to make the mind ready, and it is a journey, and that's why you do it in satsang along with others. In fact, you can tell your whole family people, please let me know when I am getting angry, so that I can take a step back. If you tell your children, they will oblige. They will definitely tell you. They will be very obliging and correct also. Yes, now you are getting angry. Yes, okay. Time to just time out, that tea, time out. Have some space. This is how to have that inner space where the witness, the Sakshi, reigns. And when the Sakshi reigns and shines the light even in the darkest of corners, there can be no cobwebs, they are all cleaned out. And such a mind alone is ready to pursue the knowledge of the self, is ready to finally see the truth that really there is no grief, no fear, no sorrow, no tears. Thank you. Om
Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate ಓಂ ಶಾಂತಿ ಶಾಂತಿ ಶಾಂತಿ. ಹರಿ ಓಂ ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರುಭ್ಯೋ ನಮಃ. ಹರಿ